Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new series that I'm going to be doing, which is all about the most common mistakes that people make when it comes to beauty, fashion and makeup, and what top tips I would give to avoid making those mistakes. Quick disclaimer, I am not a beauty artist or a makeup artist or a fashion guru, so I've made mistakes as well. I've made probably all the ones I mentioned in this video actually, so don't be thinking that I'm being some sort of oh, don't do this. I've made them too, but I just wanted to tell you my top tips and how I personally avoid them. Now, I've written a blog post to go with each of the videos I'm doing, so if you're interested in seeing the makeup one, then please click down below. I don't know why I'm doing that. Click down there, and I will be doing a beauty one and then a fashion one lastly. So they're going to be every week from here in, alongside my brand edit video. So if you're interested in having a little look, then go subscribe to my blog and you will see them on there as well. So I'm just going to get straight on with the video and I'm done rambling. So I'm going to start with my first fashion makeup mistake that people make, and that is foundation. It really annoys me when people wear foundation that is either too light or too dark for them, and it is no excuse because you can get that sorted out easily. However, I've made that mistake and I'll tell you when. I went into MAC a few months ago and I was sold the Pro Longwear MAC foundation. I loved it when they put it on me, I loved the blush they used, and then when I got out of the shop having spent 60 quid in MAC, I couldn't believe how dark the shade was. I'd lost the receipt so they wouldn't exchange it, so I'm now stuck with a shade that is far too dark for me and I can't actually use. So yeah, that's a problem. But what I would say to you is, tip number one is get matched in a shop, definitely. But don't purchase straight away. What I would say to you is get matched, have it put on your skin, go outside, go have food, go for coffee, whatever it might be. Keep checking, keep looking in the mirror, keep looking on in toilet mirrors, and have a look how it looks on your skin then in different lights, because it's only when you see it in different lights where you really know if it suits you or not. For example, I didn't do that with that MAC one, and I just bought it on that woman's word, and maybe the lighting was different in the store, I don't know, but it was too dark for me. So I definitely recommend that you go and check it in different lights and see how it looks, and if you like it, go purchase it. If you don't, well, maybe go back and explain to the woman what's wrong and maybe ask her to match you with a different one, or alternatively go to a different shop and ask them to do it as well. So that would be tip number one. Tip number two would be to mix it with another foundation. If you've already bought it and it's too dark for you, mix it with a lighter foundation. So I've done that with a MAC one and it has worked. It's not my favourite, but I do it. I also do it with my YSL foundation, which I'm wearing today. I mix it with my Healthy Mix by Bourjois just to get the perfect tone. Even though it's pretty spot on, it looks 10 times better when I've mixed it with my Bourjois like I have today. It looks flawless, and as you can see, there are no lines whatsoever, so it's perfect. Next thing is, the third thing is definitely to get someone else to check it before you go out, because even if you have the perfect matching foundation, sometimes you can just get a line, and it's hard sometimes to even notice. So get someone else to check it. If you don't live on your own, well, I suggest you take a mirror with you and just keep checking it every now and again if you're not sure. So definitely get them to check it, and make sure that you blend it all the way down your neck so you don't end up with any horrible lines. The next thing, mistake number two that people make is blush. Oh, it really annoys me when people have far too pink or too red blush and too much of it on their cheeks. It just doesn't look natural, and I kind of feel sorry that no one's told them. So definitely, again, tip number one would be to make sure that the blush suits you. Not every blush suits every person, and for me, for example, red just doesn't do it for me. I have to wear light pink tone shades or peachy kind of shades. Again, cream blush doesn't do it for me either. So sometimes try it with different formulas and consistencies. Powder works a lot better on me than cream blush, for example. Tip number two is to very, very, very lightly use the very tip of your brush. I'll show you which brush I use. I'll show you. So I use this tapered brush from Eco Tools, which is, I think it's in Boots. And if I used all that, look at how much blush I would end up with on my cheek. It's far too much. So I just like to tap the top in, give it a little blow to get it all off, and then just gently apply it and across the other cheeks. Obviously, you can build it up. So if you end up with you're better off starting with too much than too little than too much, because if you put too much on straight away, that's it. You can't do nothing about it. Whereas if you put too little on, you can just keep building up and adding it to it. That's what I like to do. So that would be tip number two. Tip number three is to go over your blush with your foundation. So that's what I like to do. I apply all my foundation, I do all my makeup, my lips, and my blush, and then I take my blusher, my foundation brush, and I just go over the blusher and blend it all in, so you end up with that really nice rosy glow, and because that's what you want it to look healthy and natural. You don't want it to look like too bright and just plastered on. It just doesn't look right. Now there's a fourth tip on blush actually, which is something that I've had to do today, and it's to make sure your blush doesn't look silly with your lip. If you're wearing a bold lip like I am today, I have the Bourjois Rouge Edition in shade 7 on today. Blush can sometimes look silly with this because it's so bright, so what I've done, is I've just put my lipstick on and then gently dusted my L'Oreal Le Blush in Sandwood Pink on it. They'll all be down below if you're interested. Just dusted that so that you don't get too much and it just looks more natural and glowy and pretty, and that's what I've gone for today. So they are my top tips when it comes to blush. Mistake number 3, and it's probably the one that really annoys me the most, is lip liner. I really hate it when people have really obvious lip liner, when the lip liner is too dark for the lipstick and you can just see it and it just looks really, really awful. So my first tip, I don't use a lot of lip liner. I only use lip liner now and again. So my tip number 1 would be to only use it if you really have to. So for example, with this lip colour, I don't use it, and I don't think you need it. It looks okay. I do use it with my NARS Black R, but tip number 2 would be to colour your whole lip in with your lip liner. So for me, I line my lips and then I colour them all in so that you don't get any line, because you've actually got that colour all over your lips. So the third thing would be make sure it matches the lipstick exactly. It doesn't have to be the same company or anything like that, but just make sure it matches exactly so that you don't get any of those dreaded lipstick lines. So for example, this is the lipstick that I wear lip liner with. It's the NARS Black R, and it's this beautiful berry shade, and the lip liner I use for this is the Colour Sensational in Midnight Plum. So I'm going to swatch these and show you how close a match they really are, so you understand. You see? So they're different companies, but they're the exact same colour. So it just means you don't get any of those horrible lines. And like I said, I like to colour my lip in with the lip liner and then put the lipstick on top so that I get the staying power, but I also get a smooth, seamless look. I don't have any horrible lines. So they're my top tips for avoiding the horrible lip liner look. So makeup mistake number 4 is too dark eyeshadow. It really looks awful when someone has far too much and too dark of an eyeshadow on top. So for example, when I put black liner on my top line, it just makes my eyes dark and they sink into the back of my head. I have to be really careful with it, so what I like to do is smudge it out. So my first top tip would be to, again, like the blush, to start with a little amount and then apply it gradually. The second tip would be to make sure your eyes match as well. So what I do is I do with one side, then the other. I don't do all of one eye and then all of the other. I like to do it slowly, one, so I know it's gradual and it gets the same. So they're the only 2 tips I can offer for that really. It's all about you and your personal preference, but definitely try and make sure that they're the same and that you don't have too much black or dark eyeshadow. So makeup mistake number 5 is spider legs eyelash lashes. I really don't like that look, and we've all done it because it depends on the mascara you use, definitely. But what I would suggest is that you start, so tip number 1 would be to start in the inner corner with your mascara brush and work your way outwards like that, and then the very end. Make sure you get every lash so you get that span of lashes instead of just having a few really clumpy ones. Second thing would be to make sure the mascara is right for you. Now, I would recommend the Maybelline The Rocket Express mascara because it's brilliant. It's so good. It works so well. And that would be my top tip. And I would definitely recommend using that mascara. Now, I only have one tip for that, really, because it's hard to do because it does depend on the mascara. But what I would do as well is brush through them afterwards as well if you do have any spider-like sort of, because it just looks really silly and horrible. And it's really uncomfortable as well because the eyelashes are all stuck together. So spread them out and just make sure there's that wide fan out sort of look. So that would be my top tip. I'm going to put myself in the eye if I carry on doing that. So thank you for watching, guys. Let me know what you think down below, and as always, please subscribe. The link will be on my head here, and check my blog out, check my Twitter out, follow me and things like that as well. And as always, please leave comments, please tweet at me, ask me any questions you want to ask, and I will be back next week with my top 5 beauty mistakes. So I will speak to you very soon. See you guys.